Hi, Tay. Just like you, I'm on the road. I'm back in Boston for a wedding, and without loss of generality, I'd like to talk about decadence. I recently finished this book, The Evolution of Beauty, which is about an aesthetic theory of evolution that goes in parallel with natural evolution, so animals can choose what they think is beautiful to them, and that guides the evolution of the species. There's a chapter on decadence in this book which has a biological definition. It's when the aesthetic development of some trait actually hinders the natural survival of that species. The example here is the mannequin bird, one species of which has developed a wing song. So instead of using a bird song like normal birds, they use their wings to make sound, and that has resulted in bones that looks like these fat ones, which are not hollow, as opposed to the normal bird ones, which are thin and hollow. As you can imagine, this reduces the flying capabilities of these birds, but the females of the species keep selecting males for these wing song characteristics, so the entire species is going in this direction. I had to rent a tuxedo for this wedding, and I found it to be a particularly decadent set of clothing. Bow ties serve no function and are even hard to tie. The shoes are too smooth in the soles to walk fast. Somehow the shirt came with 2 sets of buttons. Even my clip-on was hard to put on. Suspenders are actually good design, I'll admit, but the jacket can't get wet. Oh, and what the heck is a cummerbund?
So, cummerbund comes from the British in India. They were wearing sashes and it was hot, so they lowered them to their waists, and then when they were inventing the tuxedo in New York, they stole it.
Sounds good to me. The end result is some nice aesthetics, I'll admit, but they have far outstripped the natural selection pressure clothes should be under. So should we worry about the aesthetic evolution of fashion, like useless parts of the tuxedos? Or maybe it's not as big of a problem after all. Humans are very social creatures, and fashions like these form the kind of glue around these social contracts like marriage. So maybe like this mannequin species, you can't run very fast in a tuxedo or be covered from the elements as well, but that is not inhibiting the human species from surviving. What I'm more worried about is when ideas become decadent. For instance, maybe an academic field that becomes a self-citation ring and has little bearing on reality after a few years. Or maybe a company like Uber whose cultural values included super pump-upedness and always be hustling to the exclusion of caring about actual employees' feelings, and that blows up in a scandal. So Tay, enjoy the good life, but don't be decadent, and I'll see you next time.
Hey Tay, we're going to be part of this YouTube update.
But it's mostly about tuxedos.
Yes, it'll be about tuxedos.
You should wear them on boats.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, when Steven starts talking nonsense, you can just tell him to shut up. Shut up.